Welcome back to Birminology on Lettermen Row. I'm your host, Jeremy Birmingham. Today we're talking to Ohio State 2020 wide receiver commitment G. Scott. G is a four-star prospect from Sammamish, Washington's Eastside Catholic High School and the 9th-ranked receiver in the country, though he's recently moved way up the charts thanks to a really explosive pylon 7-on-7 tournament in Las Vegas in mid-February. G is a guy that Ohio State fans are going to love once you get to know him, and we're looking forward to bringing that to you today. Thanks for watching Birminology on Lettermen Row. Welcome, G. Scott, Ohio State 2020 commit to Birminology on Lettermen Row. G, thanks for being here.
Yes, sir.
You know, you've been kind of a guy that is sort of blown up recently. Buckeye fans, I think, are finally starting to get an idea of who you are as a person and as a player. But, you know, for those of those that are uninitiated and who don't know who you are, where you come from, how did a kid from Seattle end up feeling so strongly about Ohio State that you committed this early and that strongly? How'd that come to pass?
It was kind of like a calculation of like a lot of things. I mean, a lot of things went into it. I mean, one of the biggest things was just me going down there and feeling that kind of atmosphere. I mean, just going down to the atmosphere was just great, and it's somewhere that I felt like I was at home, like right away. So, and I always kind of thought like this recruiting process, it would be like kind of like I have all these offers and I just don't know, because every school has so much great things to offer. And so I just kind of found myself kind of, scared that I'm not going to be able to make a decision that I'm confident in. But when I went down to Ohio State, it was just clear to me. It was just clear that's where I wanted to be. And it just sparked right away, and there's no confusion, and that's exactly what I want.
What made that first visit? I mean, that was your first visit to Ohio State in October. What made that visit? And you're a big-time recruit. You're now a top 100 player, and you've been on the national radar for 2 years now. But what was it about that trip that was so different or so eye-opening?
I can't even explain. It's just the feeling, just the football environment. I mean, it's just like what any athlete would ever want. And then just the receiver coaches are just so great there. And it's just putting me in the best opportunities to succeed. I mean, I have the athletic ability. I know I have that, but like, what kind of person am I going to be? What kind of, like, how efficient am I going to be with the 3-4 years that I have in college?
Were you surprised by how quickly you and Coach Brian Hartline connected? And I mean, I know that he's a guy who's played in the league. He's gone through the recruiting process, so he understands things a little bit different than a lot of coaches, especially considering he's still relatively young. Was that how much of the Brian Hartline relationship was the deciding factor here? Because obviously you committed just 3 weeks after Urban Meyer retired, so it clearly couldn't have been about Ryan Day, as much as you may like him or trust him. I mean, it had to have been more about Brian Hartline than anything else, right?
Yes. Yeah, Brian Hartline for sure is just like I just said, like I have full confidence that I can put my athletic ability, or I can put my receiver game into his hands, and he would turn me into just the next big thing. And I have full faith in that. And we grew together. I mean, right away as soon as he started talking, like you said, he's young. He's almost even fresh out of the NFL. A couple, 5 to 6 years,
right?
Something like that. And I mean, we're just ready to get this thing spinning. I felt the connection straight from the beginning. Him and the rest of the receiver coaches. I keep in contact with a lot of coaches. Their assistant receiver coach, Coach Key. We keep in good contact throughout the week, probably every day. So that's a pretty good deal too.
How crazy was the timing of your announcement? Here you are, a kid from the Seattle area, Christmas Day, 6 days away from Ohio State playing Washington in the Rose Bowl, a school that I think obviously a lot of people in your area would have preferred you pick. How hard was that? I mean, was that like a crazy, like, hey, you know what, I'm just going to do it, or how'd that come out?
Yeah, I mean, what I wanted to do was my decision, and I was stuck to that regardless of what anyone thinks. Like, I knew that's where I wanted to be. It was kind of funny because we went to like a little football party, and we were watching the game actually, and there's all these UW fans around, and it's just me and my dad with our Ohio State shirts on, and every time Ohio State would make a play, and they're like, "It's okay, man. You can cheer for them." And so it was a pretty good time. And,
yeah, that's such a. I'm telling you, for recruiting fans, that may not understand how hard that is for a kid from one area to pick another school this early in the process, because you have another year of people all around you, friends, family, teachers, coaches, everybody saying, hey, take a look here, take a look here.
Right.
How hard has this first 2 months been? I mean, has it been a lot of that, or are people kind of just backing off and giving you your space?
No, I mean, I almost feel like a lot of times everyone has their own opinion and everything. Everybody's gonna have their own thing to say to me and their 2 cents. And I mean, I just gotta trust what I know. I gotta trust what I know. I gotta trust my family. I talk to my family lots about it, and I mean, those are the ones in my life that are gonna push me to make the right decisions and just achieve what I want in this world. And so, I mean, and I wanted just that. So regardless of what the people around are gonna say, that's kind of what I wanted to do.
And one of the reasons why, I mean, from what I've talked to you before, one of the reasons you wanted to get this out of the way early is because you just want to work. It's time to put in the
Yeah.
work and get better, get yourself ready to be a difference maker when you step on campus in 2020.
Right.
How have you used this early decision to sort of buoy you and vault you into this last 2 months of working out? Because as people see on social media, you've been all over the place just grinding, but then seeing that translate to the field has to feel amazing for you.
Right. No, yeah, it's just been a constant grind since I've committed, honestly. I mean, it almost feels like a fight. You know how boxers they'll train for a match and they'll know they have a match in about 4 months and they're training for this match. Well, that match I feel like is Ohio State. So now that I got my recruiting process out of the way and I'm locked in on where I want to be, I can just sit there, focus, and train. That's all I've been doing. I've just basically put my whole life into working out and making sure my body is best prepared for when I get down there. And so that's just that's really a blessing in itself.
What are you at right now, height and weight?
6'3.5", almost 6'4", 210.
I mean, are you planning on enrolling early at Ohio State? Is that in the works, or is that
Yeah, that's in the works. That's we're working on that. We'll see.
You obviously are in an area that Ohio State has only signed one player ever from the state of Washington. I don't know if you know that, and that was Kevin Griffin, who is the nephew of Archie Griffin. Okay, so it's very unusual for Ohio State to sign a player from Washington. But in this recruiting class, there's you, there's Keely Ringo, obviously, who's from Washington, playing in Arizona now, Savell Smalls, your teammate Sam Adams, your teammate DJ Rogers, Gary Unhatchet over there in Ferndale. Have you sort of become the ambassador in the Pacific Northwest for Ohio State, or are you just sort of picking your spots? How are you recruiting other guys?
Just keeping in good contact with them and just letting them know what Ohio State has to offer. Just some of the great things. I mean, the coaches obviously keep in contact with the kids. I just do what I can to also make sure like they understand that this program is just going to be ridiculous in the class of 2020. I mean, that's basically really all I can do at this point. And all my guys that I go to school with, I'm seeing them every day. They understand where I'm coming from and why I want to go there. And so, I mean, hopefully they can kind of tag along and want to do the same things. I also have a lot of friends in in other states across the country throughout the 7-on-7 circuit. Just other recruits that I have as friends, and I kind of let them know just a little bit about it. And some of my friends also seem kind of interested out there too.
I've heard through the grapevine that you and Savell Smalls have gotten kind of close in the last few months. Is that true? I mean, I wasn't sure if that was something you guys had been close before and it's just starting to get more familiar, or if that's just BS.
No, yeah, I've known Savell since 6th grade. We used to play on the same basketball team, and now, yeah, definitely the last 2 months we've been definitely grown together a lot more.
Have you seen him get more interested in Ohio State? Is that one of the guys that you're really working on the hardest?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I see him a lot. I'm seeing him almost like 3 times a week, and we don't even go to the same school. So, yeah, we're working on him a lot. I mean, I definitely would be nice for him to get up there. We're in his top 10, so I think he put out his top 10, and we're in there. So, hopefully we can get him to come out.
You're coming back out to Columbus on April 29th, correct?
March 29th.
March 29th, I'm sorry. April 29th is my dad's birthday, so I just started. I don't know why I thought about that. It's also the day that Garrett Wilson and Cade Stover committed to Ohio State last year. That's completely irrelevant, but that's why that date's in my mind. March 29th, you're coming to Ohio State. What is the point of that visit? What are you trying to accomplish, and who's all coming out with you?
I mean, basically just to get out there again. I don't think I have anyone scheduled to come down there with me. I just want to get around the environment again, get around the coaches, let everyone know I'm still around, and just basically say what's up.
Why then instead of 2 weeks later for the spring game?
Well, during the spring game, I have a school retreat that's like a mandatory thing. So, I mean, I'm trying to just do a little bit of both. So
Got it.
I'd absolutely love to get to the spring game, but unfortunately can't.
Other than the Ohio State visit, you're completely shut down. You're not visiting anywhere else. No play in the game here for you.
No, when I'm committed, I'm just straight committed.
Why do you wear the number 13?
That's a good question. People always ask me that. I'm not really sure. It's just something that stuck with me that I've always.
They say that's an unlucky number.
Yeah, I know, and that kind of goes in my head too. I've heard all of it. I've heard people ask me, and I kind of think, I'm like, why do I wear number 13? And I don't know.
What is your favorite home cooked meal?
Ooh, probably my mom's ribs.
Ribs. Do you have any secret talents? Anything that you can do that people don't know about? Like, are you a singer? Are you a dancer? Are you an artist? What do you do?
I'm an artist. I cut hair.
Cut hair.
Yeah.
I need a haircut.
I cut my
Super
own
bad.
hair.
You cut your own hair. All right. As you can see, it looks like I've cut my own recently. It's not great. After you're done at Ohio State, after you're on your way to the NFL, where is G. Scott going to buy his first house?
Ooh, that's a great question. That depends on so many things. I mean, are we talking NFL? Is that in the picture?
Hey, no. Let's say you're in the NFL. You can have your off-season home anywhere you want. Where do you want to live?
Probably back in Seattle.
Back in Seattle. The rain doesn't bother you?
No. Born and raised in it.
Last thing. Who's your all-time favorite receiver and the guy that you model your game after the most?
My all-time favorite receiver that I just love their game is Chad Ochocinco. For sure, that's my favorite all-time receiver. I just think he does things that people just can't do. And my favorite, someone that I idolize my game around is probably Julio Jones. Just that bigger physical receiver that can kind of do it all.
Awesome. Gee, I really appreciate you taking time. Looking forward to catching up with you again after your visit at the end of March, not April. And,
yes, sir.
Thanks for coming on Lettermen Row, Birminology. And if there's anything we can ever do for you, don't be afraid to reach out.
No doubt.
Thanks,
Appreciate you, man.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.